Hello everyone. In the previous video, I remade the spawn system using the asset manager. Now I can load and unload assets into memory and without hard referencing the actual blueprints that I want to spawn or destroy. Uh, for this video, I'm inside the main project, the Unreal Systems, that I'm trying to make some generic systems before I put the gameplay ability system and start giving abilities, making a combat system with combat attributes, maybe an experience system. But anyways, for this video, I would like, before things get messy, right? Um, I would like to make and have an input system. Unfortunately, I didn't find any or many tutorials about inputs. Um, no one make input tutorials, but I will try to make a system inspired by Lyra project, and I will try to use gameplay tags, right, as an input tag, um, and those relationship between the input and the gameplay tag will live inside the player controller, and from there I will try to pass the input data to the player state. Why the player state is because, to be honest, I don't really know, um, but I plan to put the gameplay ability system to the player state, so I think it's better to send the input data there, and there in the player state I will try to translate the input data to the action data. So for example, if I have a tag of input.key.1, this could be an ability. So yeah, now what I want to do is create a new folder and say input system, and from this um, I will move every action to the input system. I will also uh, move the AMC default. We don't need anything else. And inside the input system, I will do inputs. So I will know where my inputs live. And I will do mapping. And I believe the I believe I am using the default map inside. Yes. Okay. So now I can go back to the input system, the inputs, and make some dummy inputs. So I can say input action, and now I will just do key 1. Then I will duplicate. I I think this is okay. I will use this only for testing. I don't have anything yet. But anyway, now I can go to the mapping and give the key 1 will be the 1, key 2 will be 2, key 3 will be 3, and key 4 will be 4. Okay, the other thing that I want to do is make another folder and say data. And now I can make a struct of s input relationship. And for this struct, I will give one variable of input, excuse me, action, and the other one is an input tag. This will be input action of object reference, and the input tag will be gameplay tag. I believe this is it, and now I can make a primary data asset. Primary data asset PDA input data, and this will hold the structure that I made, input relationship of type as input, and this will be an array. So I can clean it a bit and say data asset and move this to here. Then I can say structs and move this to here. And just to prepare a bit, I will make an enum, and this will be in component owner, and inside here I will say none and player controller, player character, player state, game mode, game state. And this will make sense in later in the video. Actually, I don't know if I need the game mode and the game state, but basically this enum will work as a directory to pass data to different blueprints. So, for example, my targeting system lives inside the player controller, but I will pass the data, the input data to the player state, and from the player state, I will pass again the translate the data into actions to my player controller, and my player controller will find the targeting component and set the input to the component to make the action. I don't know if that makes sense, but it will make sense in a bit. Okay, so now I can close this and I can create a data asset of type PDA input data, PDA inputs. And now I can have an array that says, okay, the key one is, let's make some tags, input dot key dot one, and this will be default gameplay tags dot tiny. Now I can give key2 and make a tag, a subtag to the key and say 2. I will give only for the dummy actions key 3 to make tag 3, and key 4 input key 4. Okay, I can close this now, and in my player controller, uh, hopefully uh, this will work, but I have debug keys from the first video, but now I can give the input information of type PDA, input data, and I can from the input system take the key 1, key 2, key 3, and key 4. And now I will make a function inside the controller and say get input tag. This function will take an input of input action and will be of type input action object reference, and I can say get input relationship for each loop break, and I can compare if this is equal with this input action. If this is true, return oops, return the input tag. So now I can say, let's move this down. I can say in started get input tag, the input action will be this, and I will have input tag. So if I print string now to see the um, input tag and play, if I press 1 is none. Get input tag. Wait. Okay, I forgot again to put the data asset. I always forget, but this would work now, I think. So if I press 1 is input key 1. So I can do now in every action, I could copy paste this and also copy paste this. And if I play now, it should work. Input key. Oh, I had the debug key. Anyway, input key 3, input key 4. Where do I have key 2? Oh, I had the debug key to the player character. It doesn't matter. Now, I would like to pass data to the player state, the input data to the player state. So I will make another folder and say interfaces and create um, a blueprint interface, and I will say BPI pass input data to player state, and this is a very simple function is set input tag and has an input of gameplay tag input tag. So now I can go to the generic blueprint, and I don't have any. Okay, I don't have any player state, a class of player state, but I will create now bp my player state, and this later in the project will I will make a C++ player state that, and this will inherit from the C++. Anyway, now I can say class settings and add the BPI passing data to the player state. So for now I can print string the input tag, and the player controller I will say pass input pass input okay, I will remove pass input data, pass input data. The target will be the player state, and the input tag will be this tag. So if I play, actually let's add the breakpoint. If I play and press 1, nothing happens because I need to do this in the game mode. I need to put the BP my player state. So if I play now and press 1, nothing happened again. Why is that? Okay, I don't know, because maybe I changed the name of the interface function while I already was calling in the player controller, but uh, now if I play, it works just fine. So it prints 2 times the uh, input key dot one from this and one from this. So I could say, for example, um, pass input to player state, and I will um, I will have an input of action and of input action, and then I will say pass input data, and the target will be get player state. The input tag here, and I make this function just to uh, not do every input get input tag and then input that, then pass input data. So now I can delete this and have this function. Delete this, and this. Okay, so now if I play, I pressed 3, input key 3. I press 1, input key 1. And it seems like I'm doing nothing, but now I have the ability and the opportunity to have multiple actions with one key. For example, if I want to say interact with an item with the key F, I can say input key F, but also I could say do something else as well with the input key F. Now, the other thing that I want to do is return to the input system, make set color to um, because why not? And in the data structs, I will make two structs. The one is owner of component, and this will take two variables. The first one is a gameplay tag, and which will be the input tag, and the other one will be the enum owner component owner component owner. This I made a mistake. This should be not the input tag, but rather the action tag. And another thing that I like to give is the name of component, and this will be of type name. Now I can make another struct blueprint struct as as holder of actions, or rather as translate tags, and this one will take the owner information and will be of type as owner of component, and this will be an array. Okay, and now I can close those up, and I can close the interface, I can close the input relationship, and I will keep the controller. So another thing that I want to do is from the data asset, this is, I will say, I will make one more and say translate tag translation, and I will make another primary data asset, and this will be PDA input translation. So this will have one variable and will be translation map. So it will be of type gameplay tag, and this will be a map, and the other one will be as translate tags. and I will make a data asset. What is it? PDA input translation. PDA tag translation, and it looks something like this. Tag translation PDA input translation object reference. I won't forget this time to put the data asset, and now I can delete this, and from the primary data asset I can get the map and say find, and what I want to find is the input tag. So if I open the tag translation, I could say, okay, the input key dot one this is denom, I think. Component owner. Okay. Compile and save. So now I can say the input key dot one. I will make a new tag, and it will be targeting dot activate. So the input key one will be targeting dot activate. The component lives to the player controller, and the name component I will say targeting. And this I will need to open the component and give a name tag. But for now, this how the map will look like, and the I can't give um, the same input, the same key value. For example, if I say input key 1, it doesn't let me. That's why I made the array. So the input key 1 could be many things, like targeting to activate. I could make literally as many tags as I want, and I have now the choice to say where the component lives and what is the name of component. So now I can say find, and from there I can say break and do a for each loop. Basically I don't need this, and say break again, and I have now all the information. So I'm going to switch on the component owner, and what I'm going to do now is to make a new interface that I can pass around the action tag and the name component based on the on where the component lives. So for example, I can say activate something from the player state, activate the targeting system, because the targeting system lives in the player controller. Uh, Basically, I could do something like an event dispatcher, and in the components begin play, bind an input event from the player state. But I prefer making interfaces. So I will do blueprint interface, BPI, pass action uh, tag data, and this one will have one function with two inputs, pass action tag and name. Default will be on inputs, and this is an action tag of type gameplay tag, and this will be components name of type name. So now I can go and say pass action tag name, and the component name goes there, and the action tag goes there, and it needs a target. So for now I will do only um, the controller. The player state doesn't need to have an this interface, because this lives the routing lives in the player state. So in the controller, in settings, I will give the BPI pass action tag data. Now I have this inside my controller, which I can say now uh, get components by tag, and it searches all the components that this blueprint has, and I can do oops for each loop. Um, for each loop, get the targeting system. Actually, no, I will make another interface to communicate with the components. But for now, this is okay. In the player state, I can say get player component, get player controller. So now I will make another interface, but now in the targeting system, and interfaces, move BPI action tag, and this will only take an input of gameplay tag. So set action tag, the default is components action, or even say try to activate by action tag to be more gameplay system friendly, and this will be an action tag of gameplay tag. And I will open the component, the targeting system, and I will close everything. And in class settings, I will say to implement the PPI action tag. So now I have component actions. Try to activate by action tag. So here I could say switch in this tag, and I can give some default pins. The first one is targeting activate. The second one I will make targeting dot cancel. oops, cancel. And I will, from the player controller, I activate um, the targeting system with tab. I can remove this and activate the functions from the component. Should lock. Okay. And for the cancel, I'm using, I believe, the B key. And I will cancel with the tag targeting dot cancel. And I will go back to my player controller and say from this array element try activate by action tag, and the action tag will be this. So just to test some things, I will go back to my player state, to the data asset, and I have targeting.activate with input key 1, and the name of component is targeting. I will copy paste, and I will give another element to the map and say to input key not 2 but 3. Let's say that the action tag is targeting.cancel, component owner is still the player controller, and the name of the component will be targeting. And the last thing is to come to class defaults of the targeting component and give a component tag. So now if I play, I was activating the targeting with tab, and pressing tab, nothing happens. If I press 1, okay, I debug, but if I play, it works. If I press 3 to cancel, it's getting cancelled. And just to see what happens under the hood, I send the the input gameplay tag from the key 1, and then I find uh, the the relationship between input key dot 1 and the owner information. So it's looping and switching. So I pass back the data to the um, player controller. The component name is targeting. The action tag is targeting.activate. This then looping to find the components with the name, and I say target try to activate by action tag. It goes to the targeting component, switching, and execute all the logic. So yeah, now I think this is a very powerful system, because now I can have many inputs for just one key. Actually, to have many actions for one key, and later when I uh, give the ability system component, I can't because I don't have the plugin yet. But if I give the ability system component and say uh, make a custom event, for example, custom event of like test with an input of gameplay tag, I can come here and say test, take the um, the action tag, and then from there I will say try activate ability by tag. And this is the with this I don't need to call in every key try activate um, try activate ability by gameplay tag of input.key 4 for key 4, try activate ability with key 3, etc. I will call this one time from this, and the system just passing around the input data. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this system, and yeah, and just to test things around with one I activate the targeting system, but I made a test component, I gave the interface, and I just say testing.activate to print hello. The uh, tag component, the component tag is just a test. I gave the same in the same input key dot one the action tag, the component owner which is the player state, and the name of component. So and in the player state I made a test custom event with a gameplay tag and name. I loop over and try to activate by action tag. So now if I play, I pass the input data and say find. So I log to the target and print hello. So I do different actions with the same input, and um, I send the input tag data to the player state, and the player state translate to into actions. So now I can have one action from the targeting component and another action from another component that lives maybe to the player state, maybe to the player character. I don't know about the game mode or game state if you need any components there, but yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching.